Muslims often ask if every copy of the Bible disappeared. Could Christians restore it? Think about it. If fire, flood, or persecution wiped out every Bible in the world, what would happen? Could you reproduce every word, every verse, every prophecy perfectly? Here's the truth. They know the Quran is memorized word for word, but most don't realize what God has done to protect the Bible. Stay with me because what I'm about to reveal will surprise many. The Bible has survived thousands of years across empires, wars, and attempts to destroy it. Archaeologists have found manuscripts over 2,000 years old, such as Isaiah, Psalms, and the Gospels, that match today's Bible almost word for word. Psalm 12, 6-7 says the words of the Lord are pure, and that God will keep them from this generation forever. Notice the promise that God himself preserves his word. Compare this to the Quran. Muslims memorize the Quran and have Hufas who preserve it orally. But even within Islamic history, there were differences in recitation, what they call qira'at. The Quran itself acknowledges people changing God's words. Indeed, those who conceal what we sent down of clear proofs and guidance. Quran 2, 1, 59. Even the Quran warns that words can be hidden, misremembered, or altered. But God promised Christians he would preserve his word forever. Imagine, all Bibles vanish today. Could humanity bring it back? Could we memorize all of it perfectly, like Muslims do with the Quran? The answer is no. But here's the incredible part. God can step in. Historically, when texts were at risk, like during Roman persecutions, the destruction of Jerusalem, or early heresies, God raised faithful scribes, scholars, and Christians to reproduce the scriptures accurately. Acts 20:32 says, "Now I commit you to God and to the word of his grace, which is able to build you up and give you the inheritance among all those who are sanctified." Even if human effort failed, God himself ensured his message remained intact. This is a miraculous difference. Christians don't rely on memorization alone. They rely on a living God who preserves truth across time. Now, the Quran cannot be changed easily. Muslims will tell you every word is fixed, and yes, the oral tradition is impressive. But this is human-dependent. What happens if human memory fails? Or if political or sectarian disputes arise? Even Islamic history confirms disputes over correct recitation, variant readings, and textual differences. The Quran itself describes, and we have certainly made the Quran easy to remember, but is there any who will remember? Quran 54:17. Notice the question? God made it easy, but memorization is still a human activity. Christians, however, have a divinely guided written preservation, not just human memory. Here's the core difference. The Bible's preservation is supernatural, not just human effort. God ensured that even if all copies were lost, his word could be restored. Isaiah 40:8 says, "The grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of our God stands forever." Compare this to the Quran. While memorization is impressive, it depends entirely on humans keeping it perfect. One generation can forget, misrecite, or introduce errors. God preserved the Bible through history, manuscripts, and faithful communities, even before the printing press. This is why Christians can trust their scriptures not just for centuries, but for eternity. So if every Bible disappeared tomorrow, could we bring it back? Yes, not because humans are perfect, not because scribes are flawless, but because God himself preserves his word. The Quran relies on memorization, but memorization can fail. The Bible relies on divine protection, and we can see it in history, archaeology, and the consistency of the scriptures. Psalm 119:89 declares, "Forever, O Lord, your word is settled in heaven." Christians don't just read words. We read a living testimony of God's faithfulness. And that is why the Bible is irreplaceable, unshakable, and eternal. Think about this next time someone asks, if the Bible vanished, could you bring it back? The answer is clear. Yes. And only God could make it possible. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you trust God to preserve his word? And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Christian apologetics that challenge, inspire, and reveal the truth.